So when you're making a fire, preparation is everything, and this is why I'm making piles of different sized wood and other materials, and then there's a pile in the middle of that pit there. And we are inside the hut, and there's the roof and all the walls all around. And I know you can see daylight through some of it, but it doesn't matter because actually it's really thick. And yeah, I think it's probably waterproof. So I was just thinking, mulling over some of the comments that are made about survival skills, and describing it as dystopian survivalism is yeah, fine, whatever, you know, that's your opinion, that's fine. I think that actually we do need to learn skills about being in nature, because we're living in very uncertain times, and things sometimes just go wrong very quickly, very catastrophically, and people with skills do better. People with skills are able to help other people to do better too. And I know that during the tsunami, a lot of the local people helped the tourists, because the local people knew better how to live in a very low impact way, because that's how they'd always been doing it. So the tsunami, yes, it might have killed a lot of people, which is really awful, but a lot of local people went out of their way to help tourists to get through that, and it's because they know how to bounce back quickly. And this is the thing about learning survival skills, and this is why my flavour of solidarity prepping is actually about includes learning outdoor survival skills. And so yeah, so solidarity prepping together, Solly Prep. It's really a movement that's become really big and focused in Germany, and I really hope it's something that Earth First start to actually take on board. And I know Earth First have already taken a lot of these skills on board, but actually looking at how we survive climate change with a variety of skills. And I have to say that primitive skills are really going to be a part of it, especially as now this new report has come out from DEFRA about the state of the climate, and you know, the global state of the climate and the state of nature. And you know, it's only by coming out here. I'm not in a woodland. I'm in a reed bed. But you know, here is where the materials are to build a shelter like this. You can't do this in English woodlands. We just don't have enough materials in there, and yeah, this is wasteland. You know, nobody's interested in this. But this is kind of land that nobody can do anything with, because it doesn't have road access, and it's very marginal wetland, and also quite contaminated. I mean, you know, I don't think I'd want to eat vegetables out the ground or anything here. I do collect the nettles, but yeah. So yeah, and I'd just like to remind people that you know, for the algorithm and for the to help me get my videos out there, please like, subscribe and share. So okay, so this is the tinder box that I generally carry around with me. It's got a variety of things in there, some knife sharpeners, a tin opener, some fat wood. This is some fat wood that's in there, and this is also some fat wood with birch bark wrapped around it on a rubber band. And it's, so you know, this is a tiny little box, so it does require a certain level of skill to be able to use it. But what all I'm going to do today is I'm just going to use a little bit of this fat wood in there and strike a spark into it, see how it goes. So to build this shelter around me, I didn't use any tools apart from a pair of gloves to protect my hands. The only tool I brought with me into the wood is this Swiss Army knife, which also on a lanyard has a ferro rod attached. And I'm just going to shave a bit of this fat wood just to get some crumbs, and they're really good. So you get these kind of curls off it. And in that size, they're really good to kind of help to accelerate the fire going. So as you can see, you know, that's kind of what I'm peeling off. I just think about it, it's really easy to talk about how in old buildings, you know, the smoke went out the thatch. This is something else. This is actually a survival shelter. But look at that, the smoke. Ultimately, when that fire finally decides that it is definitely going to get going, which it is getting going as flames are starting to appear, that smoke is going out through the thatch, and that fire is not visible from outside. And once the smoke clears and that burn gets hotter, that smoke will disappear. And actually the smoke goes out and gets blown around the trees, and nobody from over there, and it's a long way over there, would be able to see this. So, and you can't see a fire when it's inside a shelter. I mean, that's the top of my shelter at the moment, and actually what needs to happen is that there needs to be much more thatch up there. But it's raining outside, and I'm not getting wet, which is pretty damn cool. So this is pretty good. The fact that you can see through it doesn't. The fact that you can see daylight through the thatch actually doesn't matter. It doesn't mean to say that it's not waterproof. It just means to say that this thing breathes. So it's like, I have a fire in here, it's nice and insulated, smoke's going out through the thatch, and oh, this is so warm. It's really nice, actually. It's windproof in here, it's waterproof in here. The thatch is quite thick. It's about a foot thick, and it actually probably needs to be about 3 feet thick. But one thing for certain is that as it is now, and this only took a couple of hours to build, it's pretty waterproof, and it is raining. And this fire is actually kicking out quite a lot of heat now, which is really nice. So I'm going to hang out here a little bit longer while the fire's going, and just enjoy listening to the bird song. There's a murmuration going on, which I've just filmed. It's just, yeah, this is rather magical out here, and there's plenty of food as well. I found some turkey tail. I found some. I mean, when I say food, there's tea food, but there's also other plants growing out here, and the nettles are just coming up, and I can see there's celandine coming up as well. And celandine was an important food for our Paleolithic ancestors. Celandine was a really important source of carbohydrate. It was roasted, and there's evidence that large quantities of lesser celandine root were eaten in vast quantities after being roasted. It was probably then ground to a flour and used to make either a porridge or even a bread. Who knows what our ancestors did with it. This is why we experiment with these foods, to try and find out what it was that they did with them, how they they would have certainly roast these things and ground them, and we know that grinding was a very common activity. So the more we know about foods that are going to survive extreme heat, the better equipped we are. So solidarity prepping is about equipping ourselves for the future.